Here.
Triplett. Here. Olfest.
Here.
Pregnant. Here. Hankins.
I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
I make a motion.
Second. I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay.
Aye.
The motion. Okay. Item number 4, approval of Planning and Zoning Commission meeting minutes for August 21st, 2023. I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as written. Yeah, sorry, for August 21st. That's fine.
All those in favor of approving those minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thanks, Ron. Those opposed? Same sign. All right. The motion carries. On to item number 5, Monarch Crossing preliminary plat.
Do you want me to start?
Yep.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Erin Dyke, Civil Design Advantage. My address is 41 Drive, Urbandale. Here tonight to present a preliminary plat. Go ahead and switch it so it goes up. This is for Monarch Crossing. So a couple weeks ago, or actually at the last meeting, you saw the preliminary plat for Big Creek Bridge, which is just west of this. So we're going to be connecting into that development on Arthur Avenue. And then we're going to connect into Northside Drive with a north-south street that runs through the development. There's 54 single-family lots. All of the lots range in size from anywhere from half an acre up to an acre. Everything is about 100 foot wide or larger, so pretty big lots for the area. We do have 2 detention basins. We have one in the northeast corner and then one on the south side to cover detention for this development. Sanitary sewer will come from this Big Creek Estates or Big Creek Bridge to the west. Water comes off the Northside Drive. Storm sewer will outlet. There's kind of a big storm sewer that comes through here, so we'll discharge stormwater there, and then we'll also have a discharge point on the south side. With that, I guess I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have. I believe we have addressed all of staff's comments.
Yes. Good. Yeah, so from our perspective, a few other things to touch on. We recommend approval subject to a few things. There will be a future northeast trunk sewer that goes through this development, straddling the east property line. We have a conceptual layout there. Your approval would be subject to further review of that conceptual design at the construction drawing stage. It would also be subject to signing a development agreement, defining the responsibilities for the future improvements along East Northside Drive. This is the same agreement that we had with the Big Creek Bridge developer. Essentially, we're proposing widening that street by 3.5 foot curved gutter section to bring it to a 31 foot back width, standard compliant with your collector street criteria in your code. And then also this approval will be subject to acquiring any of the offsite easements as required. So there are 2 stub streets on this property or on this development that would need to have a temporary turnaround with utility stubs on the adjacent properties. So obviously you can't construct those without those easements. I think that was it. Oh, you're also, the developer is also requesting a waiver of your block length for Monarch Drive, which is the long winding road. Your code allows up to 1,320 feet in block length. Their block length is approximately 15.
And that's really to allow tie-in with Arbor Avenue.
Correct.
I mean, it makes sense.
Correct.
Well, at this time, I have a public comment. Anybody here would like to discuss this outside? No comments? All right. Commissioners. Open it up for questions, concerns.
I like the layout. I like the fact that it's got the future trail accommodated room for it. And I don't personally have a problem with extending the street. I think it makes sense because we're tying into the other adjacent street. So I don't really have any questions.
Ponds will be with the association, is it?
Correct, it'll
Plan.
be an association.
We have good access points to those for maintenance and
You know, this pond here would have access, I guess, off of Northside Drive. We probably look at getting an access through one of these lots as
just to
well.
maintain them to get in.
Yeah, for the maintenance. And then we do have an outlet for this pond that goes to
Okay.
North-South Street.
If I,
Yes.
I think this is the development to the east. That
West.
we-
The west?
That's the west, right. The next one that we,
Oh,
approved, the other side, that are gonna be the, more like, block acre and a half, right? I love the fact that this is a half acre lots. They're, again, more of an executive type feel, and then as you continue to move out, if I'm envisioning this correctly, there's even, nicer places there. I think this is a nice combination between it, middle ground between the two, and really will set off a nice entry into the city, and just something different than we currently do have with some.
And Public Works didn't have any concerns about extending it another 200 feet, did they?
No, they haven't voiced any. I think the fact that the lots are a little wider than a standard R1 lot helps that a lot. I would say that the loading on this street isn't all that much different from a loading on a full 1,300 foot block.
Where is the recommendation?
Is there any other questions? I would entertain a recommendation.
A recommendation that we approve the Monarch Crossing preliminary plat to council, subject to staff and engineer recommendations dated September 15th, 2023.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Bowersox,
Yes.
Vogel,
Yes.
Triplett,
Yes.
Olfest,
Yes.
Pregnant,
Yes.
Hankins.
yes,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, on to item number 6.
Have a good night.
On with live rezoning. Go with the developer report? Okay.
So for your consideration tonight is a rezoning, or a petition to rezone 2 parcels in Polk City. One holds the existing nursing home, soon to be on with life facility that you guys have seen a site plan amendment for already. The second is the L-shaped parcel that lies to the west and north of the existing parcel. It's a currently vacant lot that On With Life has agreed to purchase, and they've requested that a rezoning take place in order to bring it from its existing R1 zoning to a more applicable R3 zoning, which is where nursing home and care facilities like On With Life should be. They've met the threshold for the 50% approval of the adjacent property owners, and they've provided all the necessary maps.
Option for public comment. Anybody here to speak on it?
I'm one of the adjacent property owners. I just
Can
want
you, hold on just a second. Can you come up here and then give your name and your
Okay.
address? Sorry, for the record, and then you may
Yes,
speak.
I'm Linda Clausen and I'm at 1212 Bel Air Road. It's kind of a backside. And the gentleman that came to sign, I didn't ask them if they are planning then on expanding into that property, or is it just going to remain the same? You know, I don't want them to be making this like mega, great big, you know, humongous thing there.
So they have indicated to us that at some point they intend to add to the building, but they don't intend to make it a mountain building. So they will add as needed, with, appropriate landscaping and that kind of thing, but we don't know the timeline on that expansion.
Okay. Will the people who are adjacent to it be able to, I mean, is that their building is then gonna have to be approved, correct, before they do any building?
Yes.
So then we would have a voice in it, so it would not get too large. That was just my concern.
Yeah, so
It was just kind of like, oh, they're gonna buy the lot. Well, why are they buying the lot? You know, it's just like, Yeah, I could understand that they were being rezoned, but I wasn't, because my son looked up the zoning and it was like, kind of like Polk County had one zone and one was zoned one way and the city had it zoned another way, and so it just, but now it's gonna be.
Yep, so the process for if they were to do a new building would be the exact same as what we're doing for, it's actually a little different, but they would first come to P&Z, and we would look at all the zoning regulations. P&Z would make a recommendation, and then if recommended for approval, it would then go to city council, and city council would consider it as well. So there will be two separate points for public comment on a site plan amendment or a building addition.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you for coming up.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. Commissioners, any comments, questions, or concerns?
Well, I see you've recommended restricting the permitted use to a more limited scope in the R3, which makes sense.
And the developer has indicated that they are willing.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
Do we need to do anything?
Just that you've received it,
Okay.
so everybody should have a copy of the written letter that was submitted. Okay.
So this will go into record in your consideration when you're discussing if they look to expand. This will be addressed.
Correct, and
Okay.
just so, for the public record,
Yeah.
I've spoken with Mike Schulte. We plan to look at the existing condition of that structure on Wednesday morning. And we'll I should have a game plan with it when the item proceeds to council. If there's any updates, changes, or corrections that need to be made with that structure. But that structure does sit in a triangle-shaped easement on the northwest corner of the parcel. Record keeping in the 90s was not great, but based on the pictures I've seen, it would indicate to me that I think that ponding is largely contained in that easement. So we'll do our due diligence to see if there's any corrective action taken, or if we judge that structure is functioning properly.
Anything else from the commission?
Well, I'd make a motion to council to approve the on-with life rezoning from R1 to R3, subject to the additional restrictions of that as recommended by the engineer and city, dated September 13th.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Vogel,
Yes.
Triplett,
Yes.
Polchek,
Yes.
Pregnant,
Yes.
Hankins,
Yes.
Bowersox.
Yes.
Great. Thank you, everyone. And on to number 7, reports and particulars.
Yes, I would first of all want to thank Ms. Schlosser, Robert, for coming in. I don't know why you're not sitting by your mom.
Oh, because I sat too close.
Oh, okay,
I
okay.
thought he was gonna sit next to me and then he was.
But
forward.
I think she brings up a very important point and asks a wonderful question. Will this all happen without you knowing,
Yeah.
or how many steps are in place for the residents, the neighbors, and not only for this project, but for others as well, it's just important to know that we aren't doing, and I'm not saying that you're insinuating this, but if there's a lot of different steps that we go through, and I know that Robert looks through the meeting minutes, and I appreciate the fact that you bring these questions to us, because there are no hidden agendas anywhere. We simply want to do what's best, and if it was opposed by many people around there, we would take that into consideration. I mean, I look at these things like it's in my backyard. Would I want this in my backyard? And so I thank you for coming and
Well, and there wasn't much mention made
Yeah.
by these gentlemen about what they were planning to do with it. I mean, nobody's been doing anything with it for, their years. So, it was just kind of like, well, what?
yeah, the mystery behind it. Like,
Yeah.
are they going to do something we don't know about before we know about it? So thank you for coming in and asking that
Thank
question.
you very much for answering.
Yeah, of course. Secondly, I think at the last council meeting, there was some discussion on the utility vehicle, all-terrain vehicle ordinance. I would invite those watching, those here, to ask the questions of those that will be making the decision, myself or others. If you have questions specific about that, if there's thoughts, it's a very important piece of how, I want it to be made with everybody's thoughts and opinions in mind and making the right one, and would appreciate any input. But you'll probably hear it on the streets. If you're going to ball games, those types of things, that's a hot topic with others, and not so much groups that may not be on the same page. But so I just wanted to bring that up to know that is a topic of discussion.
Is the ordinance to ban or to allow?
So the ordinance is, as I'm understanding, is still being looked at, and
There will be a proposed ordinance to allow golf carts and UTVs and off-road vehicles on a future council agenda.
On all
CBD.
streets? Or on all, is that?
There would be restricted streets for golf carts only.
And you're bringing up, right, when you start saying, but that's where it's going to get tough, right? So I just wanted to just throw it out there. It could be a month, it could be 6 weeks, it could do, I'm not real sure, but it's there. That's all I have.
Thank you.
I don't really have anything to report. They've hit all the hot topics right now.
Has there been an update on the hardware?
Not since the last P&Z meeting. Sorry. I emailed them and they said that they were finalizing plans and see something soon.
Oh, okay.
But I haven't heard anything beyond that.
Got it. Yeah, no, right.
We're all ready for it,
We
yes.
are so
I want to
ready.
buy my Christmas lights there. It's not going to happen.
Very good.
I did want to mention
Oh,
one
yes.
thing to you guys as well. Phase 2 of the High Trestle to Smith Connector Trail. We set the bid date at the last council, so we are taking the first step in many for that trail project.
7.
What step is this now? Is this,
So it's technically phase 2, but it's the first step. It'll be the first concrete we put down. Phase 1, the whole reason it's not first is the timeline on the money is much longer,
okay,
and it has to go through the DOT.
but it would
levy.
start with the, Polk City.
Yep.
side.
Well, I guess, do you know when
I don't.
the county's on working on the stuff north of town?
You don't seem
That out.
clear.
I'm trying to figure out where,
So
What
explain a little bit.
Where phase 2 is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so phase 2 will go from the right of way on 3rd Street, just north of Frank Acres, just south of Vista Lake. We've got an easement along the south side of the school's property, and it'll go from 3rd Street to the future regional park, just east of the school.
okay,
Progress.
explains it, yeah.
Yep.
I forgot that I
How
had not
many
explained.
phases are there?
There's 7. Yeah, so.
Plus one.
Yeah. 7 plus 1. Yeah.
You must start with 2?
And then goes to 7. For real. Yeah.
No, 6, that's,
Oh, sorry. Yeah. That's all. But it's a, thanks for bringing that up. That was actually on my list too. Obviously I didn't get to, but this has been, I'll be up in a month or 2 for, running again for council. And this has been one of the things since the beginning that we've wanted to get going. And it started with a couple referendums that didn't go and it was okay, right? But this progress feels good. We at least have a plan for it, how to pay for it, and it'll be a huge economic driver for our city, for everybody involved. I think it'll be very great. Just a great thing to have done finally.
I forgot, I had presented all the different phases to P&Z,
You
so
should
they're
probably
probably,
do that.
yeah, they're probably looking at me like I'm an alien. Not knowing what they're talking about.
No, they all follow the council meetings. They know.
Well, we don't broadcast the work sessions, that's where that presentation comes.
Awesome. Anything else, commissioners?
Nope.
I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Yay.
Bye, Ron.
Bye.
Thanks, Ron.
Thanks for your help.